Welcome to the Health Talk podcast, where evidence meets encouragement, and information becomes transformation. I'm Dr. Ferris Corbett, alongside my colleague, Dr. Deidre Willis, and we want to thank you for joining us today. We don't take it lightly that you've chosen to spend this time with us. Here at Health Talk, our goal is simple: to provide you with clear, trustworthy, and practical health information, so that you can make informed decisions about your life, your wellness, and the well-being of those you love. From public health to mental health, from prevention to healing, we believe knowledge is power, but wisdom is action. And together, we'll explore both. So, settle in, open your mind and heart, and let's take this journey toward health, hope, and wholeness together.
And you all, please, 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 please forgive me, because I just realized that uh, the mic was on mute. I have been doing that lately, and listen, I humbly and deeply and truly apologize. We did not realize until just now that our mic was on mute. So we're going to recap. We're going to try to catch this thing up, and I do apologize for that. So tonight, again, as I said, I'm your host of Health Talk, Dr. Ferris Corbett, and tonight we're talking about something that we had defeated long time ago. We had practically got rid of it, but now it's back, and that is measles. And as I said, Hosea 4 and 6 says, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge." So tonight, that's why we're here. We're here to bring you some knowledge and present it and put it on the table before you, because knowing the truth about measles, vaccine, and protection can literally save lives. Okay? And our did you know for today is that measles is so contagious. How contagious is it? I'm glad you asked. Measles is so contagious that if one person has it, up to 9 out of 10 unvaccinated individuals close to them will also become infected. That's just how contagious this particular virus is. If one person has it, 9 out of 10 unvaccinated individuals that are close to them can also become infected. So you think about that, people. Think about that for a minute. If one person has it, 9 out of 10 people that are unvaccinated, that are close to that one person, will also become infected, and on and on and on. So, 2 will make 18 out of 20. All right? And so on and so on. Now, here's what I want you to know. Here's a fact. Here's some knowledge that I want to release to you, or to raise your awareness about the measles virus. And that is, in 1963, the measles virus was introduced. Okay? So in 1963, the virus, the vaccine was introduced for measles. Prior to the year 1963, measles caused an estimated 2.6 million deaths worldwide each year. That is a tremendous and astronomical numbers of death related to the measles virus. Again, let me say that again. In 1963, the vaccine for the virus, for the measles virus, was introduced. Prior to the introduction of the vaccine, 2.6 million people died every year as a result of measles. So, thanks to vaccines such as the measles vaccine, the measles was nearly eliminated. But now that the rates of vaccines have fallen, we're seeing the dangerous comeback of this deadly virus called the measles virus. Now, here we are in the year 2025. In the United States, there are 1,200, over 1,200 cases of measles being reported since January. This is the highest we've seen in decades. 1,200 cases since January. And this is the highest it's been in decades. And these cases are related to or linked to things such as international travel, especially to those regions that are still battling the outbreak of the measles virus. Also, the gaps in community immunity against the virus, where vaccination rates have slipped way below the safe threshold. Also, these cases are related to schools and gathering, where measles spreads like wildfire. So, yes, measles and the number of cases associated with measles is on the rise. And remember, measles is not like the common cold. The measles virus can linger in the air for up to 2 hours after a person that is infected has left the room. Think about that. 2 hours after the person has left the room, that virus is still in the atmosphere. And you think about this, if one person walks into a grocery store that has infected with the measles virus, one person walks into the grocery store, that virus lingers in the atmosphere 2 hours after that person has left the store. So, what does that mean? That's a potential for anybody currently in there, and anybody that comes in 2 hours before has a chance or potentially are at risk for being exposed to that measles virus. This is a very serious thing, and I'm trying to provide you with this information so you can make a very informed decision about this situation, because it is truly uh, a very public health concern at this hour. Okay, now let's talk this. The state of Florida is moving to end all childhood vaccine mandate for school entry. Think about what I just said prior to that. The reason the number of kids are increasing is because schools and gatherings will measles spread like wildfire. And here we have the state of Florida moving to end all childhood vaccine mandate for school entry, and that includes the measles virus. Something to really think about, people. Now, some supporters, they call this a freedom of choice. And by all means, it is a freedom of choice. They're absolutely right. And I don't deny that whatsoever. It is a freedom of choice. However, but public health leaders and public health practitioners like myself, we're taking a stand to try to sound an alarm to let people know that it could lead to more outbreaks in schools and communities. Okay? So you think about that. Think about what we said. It lingers in the air 2 hours after a person who is infected has left the room. And also remember what we said. If one person is infected with the measles virus, and there are people around them or close to them, 9 out of 10 peoples that have not received the vaccine can also become infected. This is serious, people. Think about it. And think about it. Imagine filled with kids, some vaccinated, others are not. If measles is introduced in a setting like that, it could spread faster than almost any other infection. Wow. Think about that. And also remember, the virus don't just it won't just stay in Florida. Why? Because families travel, children visit relatives, and viruses cross borders. So think about that. If the state of Florida goes forward with this and it's just think about the magnitude and the impact that this could have, not just in the state of Florida, but in every state in the United States of America. Why? Because family travel, children visit relatives, okay? And viruses cross borders. You down there in Florida, in the state of Georgia, you right there at the line next to them. It could spread. This is something serious that we need to stop and really think about this and have a true discussion with our families and our loved ones regarding this. This is something serious, and we need to uh, treat it as such. We don't need to take this lightly. Here it is, a disease that we had nearly eradicated as a result of vaccine. There are some vaccines critics that and I get it. I get it. You have that right, but the proof is here. I'm giving you knowledge that before the measles vaccine was introduced in 1963, 2.6 million people died every year from the measles virus. But after the measles virus, that number tremendously dropped down. It was almost completely eradicated. Okay, so think about it, you know. And when you hear this, when you hear me provide you this information, when you hear me say that prior to 1963, when the vaccine for measles was introduced, that there were 2.6 million deaths every year. When you hear that, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? What's the first thing that you think about when you heard that? This is no trick question, there's no gimmick. It's just something to make us sit and reflect and to think, wow, before the virus, there were 2.6 million deaths. After the virus, that number went down. Now that the numbers of vaccines for the measles virus has decreased, now there's a rise in the cases of measles again. When you hear that, what do you think about? What do you think is the reason for that? Okay, think about that. Now, meanwhile, states like California, Oregon, and Washington, they are all banding together to uphold strong vaccine protection. Now, with the state of Florida, with their decision that they're going with, and with Oregon and Washington and California banding together, this shows a nation that is divided. They're showing a nation that is divided. But I want you to really know and hear this tonight. Disease do not care about politics. This has the measles virus don't even care. It's not political in no way, no shape, no form, no fashion. Okay? It only looks for an opportunity. It looks for an opportunity to get into a host. And once it's into that host, it looks for an opportunity to spread. It looks to spread to your neighbor. It looks for an opportunity to spread in your own family. So it is something serious that we need to think about, and we need to really rethink how we view the effectiveness of things such as vaccine. Again, in 1963, before before the vaccination or the vaccine for the measles virus was introduced before, there were 2.6 million deaths each year before the introduction in 1963. After 1963, that number plummeted to almost zero. Now there is a decline in the number of vaccination and the number of the measles cases are rising. So think about that. Okay. All right. So what can you and your family, what can you all do at this time? First thing you can do is know the basics about the MMR. The MMR is the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. Know that that is a safe and highly effective vaccine. Okay? One dose of the MMR, one dose of the MMR is 93% effective to provide, the protection against those viruses. Two doses of it is about 97% effective. Okay? So that shows you there that the virus is highly effective. Second thing you can do is catch up on your vaccine. If your child or even you as an adult missed a shot, it is not too late. Have that conversation with your healthcare provider about getting caught up on your vaccine, to make sure that you're up to date, that your titer is good. So have that conversation with your healthcare provider to make sure you and your child are up to date on your vaccine. Third thing is travel uh, precaution. If there is any type of travel advisory out for a certain region or for a certain area territory, please take heed to that advisory and try not to travel into that region. Okay. And so, if you're traveling internationally, if you do plan on traveling and it's an area that is not has an advisory, the precaution that we want you to do is to make sure that infants as young as 6 months, they might need an earlier dose. Okay, and this is critical for families going abroad to make sure that your vaccines are up to date before you travel to another country or to another region or territory. And lastly, school readiness. We talked about how the state of Florida is trying to end the mandate for all vaccines, including the measles vaccines, for school entries. Even if the mandates shift and Florida goes through with that, you can still choose to vaccinate your child, to vaccinate and protect your child. And not only will you be protecting your child, you're protecting others. You're protecting your neighbor's children. You're protecting the children within the community. You're protecting your family. Because remember, if one person is infected and anybody close to them, 9 out of 10 of the people close to them could possibly become infected with the virus. So, making sure that these vaccines are up to date for school readiness is important because remember earlier I said the number of cases that are currently occurring in the United States in the year 2025 are because of school and gatherings. Okay, so the four things that you as a family can do: make sure you you know the MMR basis, which we just provided to you, that they're safe and highly effective. Catch up on any vaccines that you might be behind on or your child may be behind on. Get caught up on those. If there's any type of travel precaution, make sure that you take heed to those travel precaution and advisory and make sure that your vaccines again are up to date before you even travel. And lastly, even if the school mandates for vaccine, if it shifts and go in another direction, you still can get your child vaccinated. Okay, and that's the purpose for this episode is tonight is to provide you this information, to provide you the tools necessary to make an informed decision regarding the health and well-being of you, your family, and the people in your community and surrounding areas. Okay. Now, measles, it's not just like a rash or anything, or fever or anything like that. It's not that. The measles can lead to things such as pneumonia, encephalitis, which is swelling of the brain, hearing loss, and sadly, even death. This is a very serious and contagious virus that we really got to step up, and we really got to pay attention to what's going on, and to pay attention to make sure that we're up to date with these vaccine, particularly MMR, measles, mumps, rubella, because the measles virus can lead to, like I say, pneumonia, encephalitis, hearing loss, and even death. This is serious. Now, we just want to say to the parents and to the public in general, this is why we cannot take this lightly. We cannot take this surge or this rise in the cases of measles um, lightly, or view it as something political. It is not. It's none of those things. It is a very serious situation. Okay. Now, what feels like what may be policy or political concerns or debates has real life consequences for our children, neighbors, and our elderly. So this is something that we can't take lightly. We can't brush it off, or say it's not real, or say it's fake, or any of those um, things like that. We must take it for what it is, reality, the seriousness of it, and know that this is a highly contagious virus, and we must treat it and see it as such and nothing else, regardless of what may be occurring in the political arena, what may be occurring down in Florida. We cannot take this lightly. All right. So here's some things you can do this week, next week, and the weeks to come. Here's what you can do. Check your child's vaccine records. Make sure, as I said, make sure they're up to date. If you're unsure, ask your provider, okay, about catching up on doses that are needed. Talk openly about vaccine. That's why we're here tonight, talking openly to you, so that you have the tools, the knowledge, and the understanding to make informed decision regarding the health and the well-being of your child, your family, your neighbors, your communities as a whole, and the public in general. So talk openly about vaccine, not with fear, but with facts. This is what I'm giving you tonight, facts. And before you travel, as I said, confirm that your family is protected. Make sure you have all the vaccine you need for whatever country you're going to. Okay. All right. Now, this is the part that I really love. I love getting into this part, because this is the part where I I'm asking you as our audience to do a little bit of participation. I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to put the questions in the chat or in the comment section. And at that time, you can respond in the comment section if you feel up to it. It's nothing you have to do. We're not demanding that you do it. We're just providing you uh, the opportunity to do so. And because your response could very well help somebody else, and it may be a question that it may be a response that somebody else is thinking. So this is where we can all come together, and this is where we can all have that nice dialogue. All right. So the first one is, here's our first one. When you think about your child's or family's health In what ways do you feel confident? And in what ways do you feel uncertain or vulnerable? Okay, we'll put that back on the screen for you so you can see it again. So, when you think about your child's and family health, in what way do you feel confident? And in what ways do you feel uncertain or vulnerable? Think about that. Go ahead and put your response down in the chat. In the comment section, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Somebody else would love to hear your thoughts. And if you don't feel comfortable in doing so, perfectly fine. You don't have to. But we would love to hear from you. And later on in this section, we're going to provide you uh, with information on how you can respond to these questions if you don't feel comfortable doing them in an open forum like this and you want to provide that information to us privately. We'll provide you means to do such. Okay. All right. And here is the second question that we're going to put in the chat for you. And that is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your family's protection against vaccine preventable diseases like measles? And what would make that number just 1 point higher? Okay, so again, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your family's protection against vaccine protected, uh, vaccine preventable disease such as measles? And what would make that number 1 point higher? Go ahead, leave us your comment down in the chat section. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And again, if you're uncomfortable with, typing your comment in the public space such as this, we will provide you a safe space that you can voice your opinion and express how you feel. Okay. All right. We got another one. We got another question here for you. We're going to put that in the chat at this time. There we have it. Should be on the screen here in just a minute. And that is, if the schools in your area no longer requires vaccine, what impact do you think that would have on your peace of mind as a parent, grandparent, or caregiver? Think about that one. Okay. And we're going to put that on the screen here for you. Sorry. If your school no longer requires vaccine, what impact do you think that would have on your peace of mind as a parent, grandparent, or caregiver? Think about that. Leave your comment down in the chat section, down in the comment section. And again, if you feel uncomfortable and don't want to, we're going to provide you that safe space that you can give us that response because we really want to hear your opinion. Okay. All right. And we're going to make that avenue available for you in just a few minutes. All right. And we got one more for you. And we're going to put that down in the chat section as well. So, and that one is, what's one small step you can take this week, rather checking your records, schedule to catch up on missed dosages, or have a conversation with your provider that will help protect your family and the community? All right. Again, what what's one small step you could take this week, whether that's checking with your provider, checking your records, scheduling an appointment to get caught up with vaccine, or having that conversation with your provider that would help protect you, your family, and the community. All right, that will be coming up here shortly. Give it just a minute. Now, remember, these questions are not questions of judgment or to make you feel any type of way. They're questions that makes us think and to reflect, and change starts with awareness, and that's what we're here for. We're trying to bring that awareness to you so that you can make these informed decisions. So What's one small step that you can take this week, next week, the weeks to follow, what have you, that you can help your family and your community when it comes to these vaccine or vaccinated preventable diseases, okay? So let's recap a couple of these questions right quick. And the first one is, when you think about your child's or your family health, in what way do you feel confident and in what way do you feel uncertain or vulnerable? Okay. The next one again is on a scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you in you in your family protection against vaccine preventable diseases like measles? Okay. And what would make you know you feel more comfortable? Okay. All right. And the next one is, what is one small step that you could take this week that would help protect your family and your community? And here we have a response from a viewer, and they said, I would be afraid of my grandchildren and I would have to homeschool. It causes more sickness in each family and spreads to community. Thank you so much for your response, Ms. Burrs, and you are absolutely right. Um, I appreciate you coming on and responding to us tonight. Ms. Burrs is a dear friend of mine and a fellow co-worker of mine. So she is absolutely correct, because remember what we said. If one person, one single individual is infected with the measles virus, anybody close to them, 9 out of 10 of those individuals are at risk for contracting or being infected with the measles virus. So think about that. And when we say 9 out of 10, those are 9 out of 10 people that are not vaccinated. Okay. All right. So again, so thank you, Miss Burris. All right. Family, friends, tonight we have been talking about measles, a disease we thought was gone. We thought we had got rid of, but it is finding its way back because of the decline in being vaccinated and the vaccine rate, and because of policy shifts, such as what's currently occurring in the state of Florida, where they are moving to remove the vaccine mandate for school entry. So, this is a very serious matter. Okay. Now, at He Cares Training and Education Center, LLC, our mission is to walk with families, churches, and communities through moments just like this. That's why we're here. Here at He Cares Training and Education Center, LLC, we offer to you evidence-based health education workshop to help parents and school separate fact from fear. We also provide faith-centered wellness coaching to guide families in making decisions to honor both God and their health. And we also provide community consulting services where we partner with organizations and ministry to prepare for outbreaks, strengthen awareness, and promote trauma informed care. Because of this, knowledge is not just power, okay? It is protection also. And when we equip you with tools for prevention, we are helping you to safeguard not only your family, but the most vulnerable in your community. Okay? So think about that. This is something very serious, and we need to treat it as such. And we need to be aware. All right. Now, if this podcast has been a help to you and you have found the information in this podcast to be something that someone in your community, in your church, at your place of employment, family, friends, what have you. If you know that this information, you that are watching, if you found this information to be highly valuable to you, please do us a favor, like, tag, share. Like, tag, share. Share this information. Tag someone in it. Okay? Let's get this word out. Let's because this is a very crucial time and a very crucial moment that we're in with the spread of this cases of measles. And measles is, as I said earlier, a highly contagious virus, and we must treat it as such. Okay. So again, I'm asking, please take a moment, like, tag, share, tell somebody about it, give us a thumbs up. Okay. If you're not following us, go to our Health Talk Facebook page and please follow us over there. And if you're not subscribed to our Health Talk YouTube channel, please head over there and make sure you subscribe to our Health Talk YouTube channel. And be sure to hit that bell so that you can get notification each time that we upload new material or we come on live. Again, tonight we have been talking about the increase in a very, very contagious virus, and that is the measles virus. Okay? So, again, tag somebody, share this information, get the word out. Somebody you know can benefit from this information. So, please take a moment and share. And as I said earlier, if someone that is viewing on the live that felt uncomfortable with responding to the questions, you can reach out to us, go to our website, and you can provide your response to the questions there, or you can just send us an email. That information is currently on the screen for you. Again, you can go to our website, you can respond to the questions there, or you can send us an email. Either way, we provide you a safe place that you can express yourself, express your feeling, express your thought without being judged, without being looked at in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. Okay? We provide you that safe space, and that safe space is going to our website or sending us an email. Okay? Again, if this podcast has been valuable and informative to you, please take a moment, tag someone, share, like, thumbs up, subscribe, the whole 9 yard. Okay? We appreciate you tonight for joining us. All right? At He Cares, we believe protecting family is a sacred calling. And together, myself, Dr. Ferris Corbett, along with Dr. Deidre Willis, we can stand in the gap with you. Okay? Again, measles is back. It's back on the rise. But so is our commitment here at Education Center. Our commitment to truth, health, and hope. Vaccine remain one of the greatest tools God has given humanity to preserve life. Don't let fear, don't let politics keep you from protecting yourself and your family. We have given you the tools tonight necessary to help you make an informed decision regarding a virus that was once at the point of elimination that is now returning and resurging at a high level. And not only that, but this particular virus, the measles virus, is highly contagious. I cannot get that stress, that point enough to you. It is highly contagious. Okay? Thank you for joining us here on Health Talk. As we said, Health Talk is a part of He Cares Training and Education Center, where yours truly, Dr. Ferris Corbett, is the CEO and founder. And Dr. Deidre Willis is our Executive Vice President and co founder. We want to say thank you for joining us here on the live podcast tonight. And you that might be catching this on replay, thank you for taking your time to view the replay. You also have an opportunity to provide your response to the question that we presented. They are in the comment section, and you can provide your response there, or you can go to the safe place of our website. You can provide a response there or send us an email. We'll love to hear from you. All right. Don't forget, join us tomorrow night as we present to you another timely um, and very important topic. Please make sure you tell somebody, get the word out. Health Talk will be here every single night, the Lord's will, at 8 p.m. with a different topic that we know that each one of you will find that these topics are timely and they're very, very valuable. All right. Until then, I'm Dr. Ferris Corbett, along with our co-host, Dr. Deidre Willis, who is not here tonight, but she will be, reminding you knowledge is power, prevention is love, and health is hope. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all on tomorrow night. Until then, stay healthy and God bless. Good night.